Hello. Today, a little bit more about cheating in relationships. What I called in my previous video, eye opener, about cheating in relationships. And today, I want to talk specifically to you if you are the person who has been cheated on or have suspicions of being cheated on. This is for you. I would like you to spend a few minutes with me, and my goal is to help you go through the process of maybe looking at it from a different angle and being more constructive with it, which I mean is go through less pain, less suffering, and give yourself a chance to rebuild your life and maybe even your relationship in a different way with a positive outcome. Let's start. So, hi there. You might be in a lot of pain right now. You might be angry. You might be devastated. You might be still in a state of shock. Or you might be raging and screaming and just going out of your head. It just feels like you're going to explode. You might feel all of that. And then you also might feel a need for vengeance. You want them to suffer for what they've done to you, or maybe are still doing to you. And you're saying to yourself and to everybody else, how could they have done this to me? I've done everything for them. I did the best, but how could they do it? How could they possibly have done this? And he starts the blame game and the guilt game and this anger and need for vengeance and need for some sort of a, payback. And then it just goes on and on and on. And, people do all sorts of things in this sort of with this sort of an emotional sort of a turmoil. Things that sometimes regret after, because this emotional turmoil takes over. And you are sort of, reduced to just this rage, this pain, this whatever else, when you're much more than that. So what I'd like you to do first is just take a few deep breaths, exhale with the mouth open and really try and get all the air out. And do it again and again, maybe twice or 3 times. And, I would like to ask you something. Since this relationship started, have you ever had any good moments? Have you ever had any good times in this relationship with this person? Maybe even good years? Yes? Probably, yes. Would it be possible to you to go into one of these moments and just re-experience them? Maybe just some small thing that might come back to you and bring some sort of good memories. And when you go there, we go to these good memories that I'm sure you do have at least a few. These good chemicals will flood your system, will flood your bloodstream, and you will feel good. And you will, drag yourself out of your hole a little bit. And you might even understand for just maybe a brief moment or so that there is much to be grateful for. There are moments to be grateful for. Maybe there are even years to be grateful for. Isn't that great? Isn't that so nice? Maybe you can draw from that a little bit. And, when you started your relationship, you had all these expectations, all these hopes about what this relationship is going to do for you, not just at that moment, but in the short run, medium run, and long-term run. You might have seen in front of yourself years and years of, good understanding, harmony, whatever else it comes with it. But you see, there is one thing you didn't really count into it, which is change. Inevitable change. everybody and everything is changing. You cannot help that. You cannot fight against that. You cannot lock somebody in with you and just forbid them, stop them from ever being different, from ever being in different circumstances, from ever having different needs, different thoughts, different feelings than what they have at that particular moment in time when your stars were aligned. And maybe even in that particular moment in time, who knows really what their thoughts were, what their feelings were, what their needs were. You can't know. Because you and that other person in a relationship, it doesn't matter how close the relationship is or was or has been. You're two separate beings with your own thoughts, with your own feelings, with your own expectations, with your own sort of experiences. And with time, this changes, and it might change in different directions. You might go in the same direction for a while, but then it might change in totally different directions. What do you do then? How do you stop it? You can't. You can't. It's just natural. It's just the way the things are. It's the way the human nature is and everything else with it. You can't fight against it. You can't fight against the inevitable. And as human beings, we are very complex. We have so many different needs and wishes and desires that need to be fulfilled. And to think that there will always be just one person in this world that's going to fulfill that for as long as we are alive is just really an illusion. It is not possible. Absolutely not. And I hope that you can understand that. No matter how hurt you are at the moment, no matter how disappointed, no matter how sort of angry, you need to understand that, wishes of the other person or desires or actions to make connection with some other person but only just you is inevitable. And things will happen in real world sooner or later. Sometimes you don't know about it, and sometimes you do. But why your partner or partners, you might have many relationships, many partners over time, often don't tell you, because often, when something comes out, the other person is just like you are now. So angry, so shocked, so devastated, so enraged, so low in self-esteem. They're figuring out, there is something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm just, worthless. It's not about that. It is absolutely not about that. This is not a guilt game that you should be playing. This is just life happening. This is just real world happening. In this particular second in time, and another one, there will be a number of people in all parts of the world cheating on their partners. And they often cheat because they are afraid of the consequences. What I mean cheat? Cheating means that they are keeping it secret, they are hiding it because they are afraid of the consequences. Because in most of the cases, they're not cheating because they want to get out of a relationship. No, they're cheating because just maybe for some time they have a certain wish or desire or need that needs to be fulfilled, and you maybe cannot fulfill it at this particular point in time. If they wanted to get out of a relationship, they probably wouldn't be cheating. They would probably be telling you that straightforward. But because that is probably not the reason why they're doing it, they're keeping it to themselves, they're hiding it, And the last thing they want is exactly what happens when this thing comes out. Anger, hurt, rage. And then saying to the other person, go out, get out of my sight, leave the house that we maybe built together, get out from under this roof where our children live, and so on and so on. The consequences can be so harsh and devastating. And that's why people are often hiding what they're doing. They're hiding their desires, they're hiding their needs that cannot be fulfilled in a relationship. Do you think about all that? Do not act straight away. Do not act in a rushed way that you might regret later on. Do not throw away everything that might have been built over time and even over years. Give yourself time to, number one, feel good about yourself. You know, when people cheat on you, it is not about you, it is about them. It is about their life, their needs, their wishes, their desires, their thoughts that they want to act out. It is not about you. It is not about who you are, you're not, how you look or you don't look, or you know what I mean? No, forget about it. So just feel good about yourself and be grateful for all the good times, the good moments, whatever it is that you've had from this relationship so far. And then give yourself a chance and some time to think about it all, to write a list about what you want. What do you want from this person? What do you want from this relationship? If you never found out that this thing happened, would you still be happy in this relationship? You know, maybe you can come to the point where you understand that sort of looking for other people over time to fulfill some needs, desires, wishes is normal. It happens. You cannot stop it. You cannot tie a person onto you forever and you know, make them the same as they were, you know, whenever it was that the relationship started. It is not possible. Do not wish for something that is not possible. Do not have unrealistic expectations. Try to be real. You know, build on a knowledge about yourself, about human nature, about people, about relationships. And it will be much easier for you to take it all in, to accept what is happening, to think about it, to talk about it openly, if possible, to this other person without guilt, blame, rage, shouting, with some sort of an openness and understanding. And then you may or you may not find ways to go forward in your relationship, maybe even make it stronger, healthier, even, you know, make it possible for this relationship to go on for a long time to come. But you need to be open. You need to have an open mind. You need to have an understanding, as I said before, about yourself, about the human nature, about the world that we live in, about the relationships. And then you need to keep the communication going without cutting it off abruptly, without raging, without shouting, without screaming, with understanding. And then, you know, you will resolve it. There is no other way but resolution, whichever way you will decide that is the best for you. Always ask yourself, what is the best for me? What do I really want with this relationship? What do I want to do with this relationship? And the answer will come to you. Just give yourself a chance and give your relationship a chance. Don't be rushed. Don't just cut it off. And do things that make you feel good about yourself. Focus on yourself. Stop policing that other person. Stop investing time into driving yourself mad and miserable. Look, this is all from me for today. I know that this might be a lot to take in. I know that, you know, the hurt does not go away. You need to acknowledge it. The rage, the sadness, the disappointment. You have to acknowledge them and you have to live through them. They don't just go away. But everything I've told you today will help you. And leave me some comments. You know, send me a text. Maybe if you want to talk about it, write something about it, then other people can contribute with their thoughts about it, with their own experiences. Let's make a discussion about it. Thank you. Thank you for today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.